Hi, I'm Kathy Williamson with Goodwill Works and here in Elizabethtown, and this is our session of Insights and Issues. I understand, guys, that there's a new sport that's being offered for youth in our area, and it's called mountain biking. So this is brand new to the area, and absolutely, as we were talking before we went on air, it's brand new to me, so I want you to be able to talk to us and fill us all in about what's going on. So I have some guests today, and so I have Zach Magnus. You are an athlete that's a student at Central Hardin High School. Yes, and so tell me how you got into riding mountain bikes and being a part of this group.
So originally, I guess I just started riding mountain bikes. There's quite a few YouTubers on YouTube, and I thought I might enjoy that because I enjoy riding four-wheelers and stuff, so I thought I might enjoy riding mountain bikes. And anyway, a teammate of mine, Canyon Huffman, me and him got to be buddies through school. Anyway, he said he was on the team, and that's how I got to know the team.
Yeah. Were you in any other sports in high school before you did this?
In middle school, I used to run cross country, and that kind of helped. Brady did too, and that kind of helped us segue into mountain biking.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about, that cross country gives you the breathing, gives you the stamina, all of that to be able to do these things. And so there was a YouTube, you saying there was a YouTube, and you were able to get in there and get to be a part of that and kind of learn about it that way?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing what this internet does. It opens the world to us. Well, thank you, Zach. And Brady, Paul, I understand that you were second in the state last year on the junior varsity. So tell me about your history of doing mountain biking and how you got into it.
Well, when I first started mountain biking, I got into it actually by my dad. I used to run cross country before, like Zach said. Mm-hmm. My dad tried to get time off his feet because he also ran. He got me into mountain biking. He's like, "You try it out." I tried it out. I liked it. A couple weeks later, I think I ran to Dave, and he said something about trying to join the team. Didn't know nothing about it. Mm-hmm. After a while, we considered it, and I joined the team, and started off there.
So, Mr. David Haynes, I understand that you're the head coach of the Hardin County Elizabethtown Composite Mountain Biking Team. Now, that word composite, tell me what that means, because I think there's different types of teams. So
yes.
Explain that to me,
yes.
please.
Within the rules of the National Interscholastic Cycling Association, there's different categories of teams, and NICA started as school-affiliated high school league. And so a composite team is for a startup where if you are in a location that doesn't have a school team, this is a team that allows athletes from anywhere, private schools, public schools, in our case, county schools, city schools, homeschoolers, to have one team that they can go to. And the intent from NICA's perspective and the league perspective is once we've got a certain number of students from a specific school, they would break off and become a school-affiliated team, probably as a club. Or something like that. But a composite team is just basically a composite of the schools within a certain geographic region.
The folks that want to play, that want to ride,
yes.
The folks that want to be a part of it, but you don't have to go to Central Hardin, or you don't have to go to North Hardin, or
yes.
and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
okay.
it's really great for homeschoolers.
Okay.
Because they have no school affiliation, and we've actually got a number of homeschoolers on the team.
Okay.
That, the composite team will always exist for them, whether Central Hardin has a team or not, and we'll probably continue practices together if we do grow to that level where we start splitting teams off.
Okay, Coach. Well, tell us some of your background and how you got into this.
Sure. When I was young, I was a BMX rider, and then have always, when I was 15, 16 years old, the way you got around was on your bike. And so I've always been a bike rider, got pretty engaged in cycling as a 20-year-old and started racing road and mountain bike. Was in the Army, traveled around and managed to bike all over the world. And then in 2006, I was actually wounded in Iraq. And cycling for me was a way to come back physically and mentally And I used cycling, and it enabled me to ride with George Bush one time or a couple times.
Oh my
and
gosh, what a memory.
So some neat stuff.
Absolutely.
And,
thank you for your service, sir.
it was an honor to do it.
Yes, sir.
So anyhow,
Yes, sir.
continued to race as I recovered. And then in about 2017, did my last race, and I said, I think I'm done with racing, and still wanted to contribute to the sport. I really love cycling and mountain biking, so started working on the trails in town, and also started working towards standing up the league in the state and the team in the county.
This is all foreign to me, and it may be to our viewers here, but talk to me about what the KICL is and when it got started, and that I understand registration is going to be opening soon. So talk to us about that, if you will.
Okay,
Coach.
so the KICL is the Kentucky Interscholastic Cycling League, and that's the league within the state of Kentucky for 6th through 12th grade boys and girls that want to race and ride mountain bikes.
Okay.
And we are a project league of the National Interscholastic Cycling Association, NICA, which has been in existence, a 501c3 that's been in existence since about 2009. The KICL itself we started a chartering process in late 2017, 2018, and had our first competitive season last year in 2021.
Yeah, when I did some research, it said that league is in over 30 states.
Yes.
So it's a pretty good sized league.
Yeah, and it's we're obviously a new league right now. I think we have about 250 athletes, which is very small for NICA, but there are states out there such as Utah that have 7,000 athletes in their league.
Oh my gosh, guys.
Wisconsin, I think, is approaching 3,000 or 4,000 athletes. So my hope as a coach and as somebody that is involved with the league startup is that Kentucky will get that large someday, because it's an amazing sport.
Sounds like it absolutely has the opportunity to do that. So the mission of this is to build strong minds, bodies, characters, and communities through cycling. So you guys have been involved in that, absolutely. And the fact that you bring on other folks, you're probably their best recruiters and their best advertisers, because once you're in the program and you're enjoying it, you bring your other friends in to be a part of it. And so that says a lot when they've got the heart to bring more folks and to share their experiences. So who can participate?
6th through 12th graders,
Okay.
Male and female.
I heard that.
And within Hardin County, essentially anybody, homeschooler, private school, city schools, county schools. So there's really no limitation. Basically, everybody participates, and we like to say everybody rides, everybody's on the team, there are no cuts. So anybody that is interested in just taking up mountain biking, and you don't need to be an expert at it, because we start at very basic skills and progress from there. But anybody interested.
So tell me what a day out there riding looks like. How do you start the day? What does the team look like? What kind of track are you doing? Tell me what a typical day might look like.
Okay. I mean, you guys want to add anything there? Or?
I'll say the first time you find where you want to go. You can go dirt trail. You can go mountain biking, gravel biking, road biking. Every single one of them can work a different group of muscles. Road biking can work stamina. You get there, you got your gear on, your helmet, your gloves. Make sure you pack enough water. That's very important.
Okay. Okay. So you all meet at the same place,
Yes.
and you have the ability to decide at that location what type of riding you want to do for the day. And so there's folks like parents and those folks that kind of help you get all organized. Is there like a checklist so you know who's there and who's going to be going where, that sort of thing? Is that kind of how it's organized?
Yeah, we actually have an app that the team uses, and we communicate with that, and we put our schedule on it. What we do for practice is we typically have, as we approach race season, we get more structured. And we start with very basic skills. Mm-hmm. Even these guys who are very experienced, very good mountain bikers will start at the basics again, because part of what they're doing is they're modeling for new athletes that come on the team. Mm-hmm. And then, as we progress, we focus more and more on fitness. And that involves either long rides, like Brady was talking about, either we don't ride on the road as a team, but some of the athletes that are serious about riding do ride on the road. But we'll do long mountain bike rides. So like a typical practice is about 2 hours during the week. and we'll do an intro, and we'll work either on a specific skill or a specific fitness aspect, or we will take a long kind of team together ride. Okay, and that's part of the community piece. There is, it's important. There are athletes on the team that have competitive goals, and there are athletes that have non-competitive goals. But just to build that cohesion in the community with the team. So that's the general flow of a practice and for the week as we go through.
And you're saying, from 6th to 12th graders, you could have a large age group difference.
Yep.
Sounds like you could have a large experience level difference, and maybe even a large desire as to what they're interested in participating in. So again, you all gather together. You start out on the ride. You talked about water. What are some of the other safety pieces that you kind of have in place?
Like I said, helmet, also very important.
Yeah. Okay.
You have your shoes,
Are there certain shoes you need to wear, or?
You don't have to wear a certain type of shoe,
Okay.
but it definitely helps.
Yes.
It definitely helps.
Yeah.
Okay. And uniforms is I see you're in your team shirts here. Are there elbow pads? Don't know anything about this. So are there elbow pads? Are there other pieces of protection?
The only requirements, this is the race uniform for race day.
Okay.
The only requirements for practice are helmet and a functional bike. Some of the other equipment that we carry, spare tube tools, and coaches carry first aid kits. And fortunately, all we usually get is bumps and bruises. And coaches also have first aid training. So as part of their
That's
certification.
important to know, and because you never know when there might be an accident. Is there some form of communication you're talking about on the app on your cell phone?
Well, we have team radios that we use.
Team radios,
You talked about the various ages and skill abilities. That's a coaching challenge, and we have about 14 coaches now on the team, certified coaches. And what we do is, what we're going to try and do this season, because I think we're going to grow a little bit, is address those ages, skill abilities, and goals by breaking up the coach team into various teams during practices.
Yeah.
So,
well, where do you get those coaches?
Parents.
Parents can be involved in this.
Very
great.
passionate adult cyclists.
Okay.
Yep.
Folks that have graduated and have moved on, and maybe their I could see parents that their children have outgrown it, but the parents still have the interest in it, and maybe bring their grandkids, and that sort of thing. So there is a need for parents to sign up to help be coaches.
Yep.
What about just organizers to get this all together? We all need what I call busy bees, or folks that just do the worker bees, that just kind of help get the water out and get everything set out. Could someone volunteer to do that?
Yes. As a new league, we are looking for leadership at the league level, and we can always use help at the team level, and that can be any type of support, because there's a lot of aspects to this outside of just riding the bike, as far as fundraising, social media, photography, all kinds of things like that.
Mm-hmm. And the fundraising piece, is that to get trophies, or to get local businesses supporting, that sort of thing? Do you need those pieces?
It's to pull the community into the sport, and a large team. You could look at a budget of $10,000 a year to run a large team. We don't spend that much here, but every bit that we get either helps us bring in an athlete, defray the cost for a family and that athlete to participate, pay for jerseys and spare parts and things like that for the mountain bikers.
All the working pieces, all the pieces that it takes to make this thing happen and let you guys have a great, safe day out in the fresh air and all of that. Well, when I was looking at this again, it said that you can join the team if there isn't already a team. If I were to move into the area, how could I find you guys to find out that there's a team here already?
The best way is our Facebook page,
Okay.
and that's just hardin.etown.mtb.
Okay. And we're going to put up all of this contact information at the end of the segment, the telephone numbers, the Facebook page, any of that information, so that anyone that sees our segment here and is interested in joining could get in touch with you and get some of the details. Is there an application process, or is it just...
There's a registration process.
Registration, that's what I was looking
and
for.
Statewide, we have a website, KentuckyMTB.org, and you can go there and you can find out, even if you're not in Hardin County, is there a team in my area? And you can send an email to that website, and they'll point you to a head coach or a team director that can kind of get you hooked up with the team that's closest to you geographically.
There you go.
Yep.
Absolutely. So is one of the other questions I had was, is there a limit to the size of the team? Can you only have so many in this group and so many in that group, or is it just as many as wants to participate as long as you have support services behind it?
Yeah, there's no limit to the size of the team. What the limitations are coach ratios, is we have to maintain a certain coach ratio, so 6 to 1 or 8 to 2.
Okay.
Or the other limitation is if we have a school that has a number of athletes for a composite team, once they get over about 5 athletes, they're supposed to split out into their own separate school team.
Okay, and that makes sense because they have to keep not to have too many people that someone can't keep watch over and that sort of thing. So when is the season? Is there a specific time of the year from this day to this day that you're going to participate?
Yeah, we're in the preseason right now, and the registration is starting now. And we start practices in July. Our first event is in the end of August, and it runs through the end of October.
Okay, you guys probably already want to get out there, don't you? Are you practicing already at home, that sort of thing, to get geared up for it? Because I know it's probably exciting that once the weather starts getting warm, you get nice Saturdays, you want to get out there and start doing it already. Absolutely. So how often do you practice? And what does a practice look like?
I practice about 3-4 times a week, depending on how long I ride, how much miles I'm getting. You want to get, for me, depends. You want to get like at least 80 miles, 100 miles, depends, I guess, on the person, really.
Okay, Zach?
For me personally, I practice about 3 times through the work week. And then we usually ride on the weekends and go to various trails around our area. And I don't get in as many miles as Brady. But I'd say about, 10, 15 miles each day for practice. So.
Wow, that on top of school, on top of whatever else you have going on, that's absolutely a great commitment to it, so that when you do get ready and you get into the actual event, your body's ready and you've got things in place. And so you guys just practice at home, you go somewhere locally and do those practices getting ready for the events. Is that what we're hearing? Okay. Coach, I wanted to ask, do you have an idea of what the all-in gear cost might be for someone? Because we've talked about helmets and those sorts of, and the bike itself. If someone's thinking about this, can you kind of give us an estimate or best guesstimate of what it might cost to get up and running and have your kids participate?
Yeah. So first, the most important thing is any functional bike and any helmet that is safe is good enough. So to start, we'll work with that. As an athlete gets more serious, I think you're probably looking at least $500 for a bike from a reputable bike shop, and then probably anywhere from $50 to $100 for a helmet. And those are the 2 most important pieces of equipment. Everything over and above that is optional, depending on the means of the family and how serious the athlete is.
Mm-hmm. Well, that gives a good idea. I mean, again, just from a budgeting standpoint and that sort of thing. So I did have in my notes, again, so we've kind of covered the fact that you guys are MedFirst trained, or you have your certifications and that sort of thing. And it sounds like there's a good network in place that keeps eyes on everyone so that everyone is good and safe there. My note says that there's going to be a championship here in October.
Yes.
And so tell me about that. Where is that going to be held, and how many folks are you expecting, and what would that might look like?
Okay, so we are going to have the state championships here in Elizabethtown, Kentucky at Buffalo Lake.
Buffalo Lake,
and
okay.
The Boilermaker Union Local 40 out on Commerce Drive is kind enough to let us use their facilities and their land to host that, because when you see a race, it's a pretty big setup with all the teams coming in.
Staging and everything that has to happen.
Yeah, all the staging, all the team tents, and NICA is very specific on the course setup for this stuff. So that 23 October, and I think right now we have 250 athletes that are in the process of registering, and we expect more as we continue through the month of June. And you know, we have a formula of 2.5 to 1, so probably about 800 people will show up in October.
Gosh, what a crowd. Oh, gosh, I had no idea that many folks would show up from all over the state. Is this a statewide event?
This is a statewide event.
This is a statewide state championship.
Yeah, we try and make it a pretty big deal locally. You know, we did have a race at Buffalo Lake last year. It was in the inaugural season, and you know, we had food trucks and all kinds of volunteers out there helping us. So it was really quite a cool event.
You know, and this might be a great opportunity for folks that are thinking about their children are thinking about getting into it, to come, and if they don't, go ahead and make the commitment, but come and see this event happen, because that's the kind of thing that you get charged up about, and you see what's happening and how all this is working and the fun and everything that folks are having.
Yep.
So is there, for your team, is there any cost associated in going to that event?
For the racers,
racers.
It's $35 per race,
Okay.
but a family can buy, you know, we have 5 events this year. You can buy it as a package, and it takes a little bit off of it. I think it's $125 for all 5 events. For spectators, there's no cost. So
Absolutely.
welcome everybody to come
So
out.
I'm going to go back to you, Brady, because you came in second last year. Where was that event held? Is that the one at Buffalo Lake?
That was all the races together.
Okay. Across the state, all of the races.
Yes.
You came in second.
Yes.
Oh, wow. I'm impressed. Absolutely. And you'll do next time. Yes, sir.
Hopefully.
But he actually got 3rd place at home.
Third place.
Yep.
Absolutely. You
Yes,
guys are out there just taking numbers and doing good stuff.
Yeah. Well, you know, we have a small team, but we have some incredibly talented athletes, both competitively and just riding wise. You know, we have a girl in the state who finished 1st in 7th grade. Her sister finished 3rd in the state for 8th grade. But you know, competition's only one aspect of it. Zach mentioned Kenyon Huffman. He's one of our founding athletes, and he is a fantastic bike rider.
Absolutely. Well, guys, again, this was all brand new to me. When I got the sheet about what we were going to be talking about, I went and did some reading and some looking at it and that sort of thing. And I'm just so impressed that you guys have made such a commitment and have done so well. I hope that this segment just really brings a lot of attention to your sport, and that this year, if you have 800, next year you have 1,600, and it continues to grow. You go and you have a safe event. And again, thank you so much for spending time with us today. I'm glad that you were here to tell us about this. And again, they're going to put all of that contact information at the end of the segment, telephone numbers, Facebook page, that sort of thing. So if anyone's interested in getting in contact with you guys, they'll know who to talk to, okay? Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Kathy Williamson with Goodwill Works, and that's our segment today. Thank you for joining us.